The movie begins from 1862. Elizabeth, an English nurse who served in the Crimean War, departs for Ireland. Elizabeth was a widow whose husband died within a year of her marriage, which is why she became a nurse at the age of 25. She gets a room at a nearby pub. The next day, before breakfast, she goes to see the village council founded by Dr. McBriarty and other notable local men. The O'Donnell family, who live outside the village, say their 11-year-old daughter hasn't eaten anything in 4 months, but has been healthy all that time. Due to this, visitors and journalists have traveled from all over the world to see the miraculous girl, and the council believes that the hamlet is being mocked in the media. Elizabeth, in collaboration with Sister Michael, is hired to track down Anna to determine whether or not something truly miraculous is happening or if it's all just a ruse. Despite this, it is not permitted to compel Anna to eat, but if she requests food, which she hasn't done so far, she may be given it. Elizabeth and Michael had to take turns supervising in 8-hour shifts, and they should not interact with each other. After 2 weeks, each of them must submit a separate report to the council. After that, she goes to the O'Donnell's house with Dr. McBriarty. Elizabeth wonders why the O'Donnells didn't hire 2 nurses. The doctor notes that because the family is very religious, they were more open to the concept if a religious person was engaged. Many of the council members who were less inclined toward science also voted in favor of a more religious interpretation of events. Elizabeth is surprised to find that the house is a very low roof. Elizabeth initially meets Anna's parents, Malachi, Rosaline, and Kitty, at home. Since Anna isn't there yet due to visitors, Elizabeth takes the opportunity to ask about the child's medical history, if not much to say. At home, a group of guests who had come to see Mother leave with a coin in the donation box. The guests believe that Anna's condition is a miracle of God. Rosaline says the donations will go to the less fortunate, but Elizabeth is skeptical. Finally, Elizabeth sees Anna in the middle of prayer. Elizabeth examines Anna. Anna is in good health. Although a little tender, she shows no signs of hunger. Elizabeth suggests that this watch be carried out at a hospital, but the family is unwilling to allow them to take Anna away. After examining Anna thoroughly and making some notes, Elizabeth asked the young woman a few questions, but Anna did not look or appear uncomfortable. She adamantly asserts that the manna from heaven she skips over is sufficient to satisfy her hunger. Next, Anna observes the others as they continue to eat lunch at the same house. When Elizabeth finds a family photo with her son Pat, she discovers that he no longer lives there because he is dead. When the O'Donnells inquire about Elizabeth's family, she replies that she was widowed within a year of her marriage, and she lets go of the fact that she lost a child. After switching places with Sister Michael at the end of the day, Elizabeth goes to the village. Elizabeth arrives at her residence. She takes a certain medicine before bed, pricks her finger, wakes herself up and looks at the shoes of her lost child to temporarily forget her grief. The next day, Elizabeth notices that Anna's brother's eyes are different. Then Kitty says that we drew it because his eyes are not visible in the photo. Soon, they settled into a comfortable routine that helped Elizabeth learn more about Anna, whose main pastime was collecting religious cards. Every day, Elizabeth goes for a walk with Anna. She also keeps her brother's shoes as a souvenir. Now, Anna agrees to drink at least some water. Elizabeth searches every crevice of Anna's room whenever she gets the chance, but so far has found no evidence of wrongdoing. Later, another journalist named William photographs Anna, and when Dr. McBriarty visits to check things out, Elizabeth takes the opportunity to speak out against these visits. The doctor agrees to Anna's request because she is constantly disturbed by people and prefers silence and solitude for serious study. Later, at the end, journalist William asks Elizabeth for permission to interview her, but Elizabeth is adamant that no strangers are allowed to see Anna, and she will not answer any questions because of patient confidentiality. As time passes, Elizabeth searches for clues. When Anna asks Kitty what was the last thing she ate, she says it was communion bread, because both her birthday and Holy Communion fall on a wonderful day for the family. When Anna turned 11, she stopped eating. In order to watch Anna throughout the night, Elizabeth asked her sister Michelle to switch shifts as well. She also asks to bring a lamp to her room for more light. She sees Rosaline kissing Anna on the mouth as part of the nightly ritual where Anna's parents join her for prayer. When Elizabeth accidentally checks the bottom of one of Anna's valuables, she discovers a bit of hair hidden in it. When Elizabeth asks Anna if she misses her brother, Anna replies that she doesn't. Elizabeth apologizes to Anna for the accident and verifies that Pat's hair used to belong to her. She replies that God uses sadness as a spade to prepare the ground. Additionally, Anna calls Elizabeth by her nickname rather than Mrs., so Elizabeth chooses to do the same to her. Elizabeth calls her by another name. At first, Anna doesn't like it because she feels like someone else, but after Elizabeth gives several alternatives, she uses Nan, and Anna chooses to keep it. As the days pass, only Elizabeth, Sister Michael and her family are allowed to see Anna. Visitors are no longer allowed. Despite this, William remains in the hamlet, refusing to give up on his claim no matter how many times Elizabeth rejects him. William says that Anna is acting very well if he agrees to provide daily updates to his editors. He says that no matter how accurate they are, they can be found. But Elizabeth shocks Anna by saying that she believes in her honesty. Elizabeth discovers Anna's family around the infant one evening as part of their regular ritual, and it is raised. Elizabeth separates Anna's family from her. There are several warning signs that lead to the decision to declare that only she and Sister Michael can touch Anna now. Even her family members can no longer touch her. The family doesn't take this well, but they still stand on the steps to bring Anna her daily prayers. When William approaches Elizabeth again and tells her that they are working on some plan to feed Anna and that he may be the fresh set of eyes she needs to solve the case, Elizabeth refuses, saying that she is keeping the family at a distance and that the truth must be revealed soon. William is worried when he hears this, because Anna will no longer have real food, so she may die, and if they confess, they will be arrested or banished for concealing the truth, conspiracy to defraud, and misrepresenting God's will. Next, Rosaline brings Father Thaddeus home and complains that he has separated his family from Anna. Elizabeth apologizes and says that she has to do this to bring out the truth. Thaddeus disagreed. Unfortunately, William's fears are soon realized when Elizabeth next examines Anna, seeing Anna with a tooth falling out. This is due to malnutrition. One afternoon, Elizabeth stops Kitty on her way back to the village, and when she inquires about William, she learns that William grew up in the country before moving to London to continue his education. After locking themselves in their house to escape embarrassment, William's family perished in the Great Famine without help. When Elizabeth returns to the inn, she sees William and realizes that he is the only one who can relate to her grief, so they decide to spend the night together. After they finish, Elizabeth makes it clear that she is not a widow. Her husband disappeared when she lost her child, so in her eyes, he might as well be dead. Elizabeth now invites William and Anna to join her on her daily walks so she can fulfill her passion without anyone else having any thoughts of breaking the law. William chooses to share anecdotes about all the countries he has traveled to for work during this time. Unfortunately, things do not improve as Anna continues to be tired and weak. When Elizabeth asks her parents to let Anna eat, they refuse because they promised not to ask such a thing on her mother's birthday. However, Elizabeth lets Kitty back into the room. Elizabeth visits Dr. McBrearty in a desperate attempt to get help, but he ignores her concerns as he sees this as an essential test. Anna's health is deteriorating day by day. Elizabeth loses her pride and takes a medical tube to force feed Anna soup. Anna puts it in her mouth and feeds it, but as soon as Elizabeth sees Anna crying in grief, she apologizes for her anger. When Anna's mother asks what the noise is, she replies that it's nothing, even though she knows it. One afternoon during her daily stroll, Anna begins to have breathing problems, but before returning home, Anna takes Elizabeth and William to show them a nearby lake, which she refers to as a holy well. The extra effort results in her fainting, so Elizabeth returns home. Rosaline casually tries to get Anna to eat, but she refuses and says she needs to rest. Since then, Anna has experienced frequent coughing and persistent breathing difficulties. As a result, she begins to move around in a wheelchair brought by Dr. McBrearty. Elizabeth checks on Anna's condition again. Health is getting worse. Anna is coughing all night. Elizabeth eats lunch by herself, and her fascination with the case allows her to come to an understanding after consoling Anna the night before because she can't sleep because of her cough. She rushes to see her mother, who explains that the divine manna she believed she was eating from God was actually the food her mother fed them through kisses during their ceremonies. However, Anna did not accept this as food. Elizabeth can never comprehend because she doesn't share their views, but because it was a necessary component of the rite, it still qualifies as a holy secret. Even though the truth is now known, Anna has been fasting on purpose in order to save her brother's soul. Thus she refuses to accept food or those kisses again. It comes out that Pat cheated on Anna ever since she was 9 years old, calling it double love as she was both his wife and sister. Rosaline held Anna responsible for Pat's heinous deeds, and now that Anna has admitted she loved him as well, she is fasting. Usually, religious fasting lasts only a day or two, but Pat's soul must be tormentedly deep in hell for his deed. Anna believes that Pat's death from an inexplicable illness is a sign of God's vengeance, and therefore believes that Pat's soul must sacrifice herself to keep it from going to hell. Elizabeth tries to convince Anna that nothing was her fault and that it might be harmful to think that way, but Anna is adamant about her choice. When it's time to give her report to the congregation, Elizabeth tells them that Anna is dying and that Anna's mother feeds Anna like a bird with those kisses. The council doesn't believe her, believing that Elizabeth is lying, because they read a passage William had written in which he claimed that Anna's death would be the result of her parents and society murdering her. They assume that he is fabricating evidence to support his claims. When Sister Michael is questioned about Elizabeth's objections, she claims not to have witnessed the kisses. The council chooses to call Anna in as a tiebreaker when Elizabeth accuses her of lying, but Anna again denies everything. The council allows Elizabeth to continue her surveillance, but everyone now considers her a fool. As Anna's condition worsens, even the small amount of water she consumes causes her to puke up. Rosaline ignores Elizabeth's advice to give Anna those kisses one more time because she doesn't see it as losing Anna. Instead, she sees it as progress toward Pat and her own redemption. Rosaline is relieved that her children will enter heaven. As the family attends church on Sunday, Elizabeth has one final chance to save Anna. She begs William to help her kidnap Anna to save her life, but William refuses on the grounds that he must respect their parents' religious beliefs. As he points out, if William doesn't want to run away with them to start a new life as a family, he can at least help them get to the city safely. Elizabeth thinks this is very hypocritical because she has no problem using the word murder in her work. Later, as the parents and Kitty go to mass, Elizabeth begins scribbling notes in her notebook. Anna feels her time has come when she experiences her worst breathing difficulties to date, but Elizabeth approaches her with a fresh idea. She could let Anna die, but in exchange for that sacrifice, a new girl named Nan, who is 9 years old again and has never experienced anything traumatic, may be created. Elizabeth brings the dying Anna to the holy well and leads her through a ritual in which she closes her eyes and briefly loses consciousness because she experiences the thought that some of her will still go to God. When the girl wakes up once more, Elizabeth tells her that I am now me and able to feed the baby. Elizabeth returns to the house after letting William take Nan away to hide her, and after stowing her journal in her pocket, she sets the house on fire along with her own medication and her child's shoes. She doesn't need them anymore because she's getting good. She burns her hands to support her story. Later, Elizabeth brings her false notebook and tells the council that Anna has taken a turn for the worse and died of natural causes, explaining how Elizabeth became so distressed after learning of Anna's passing that she unintentionally pushed the lamp off and lit it on fire. Despite their skepticism due to the lack of a body, the council decides to release Elizabeth without holding her accountable for failing to complete her assignment because they lack any supporting documentation. Later, as Elizabeth prepares to leave the community, Sister Michael approaches her with the excuse that she needs help changing Elizabeth's bandages. She then communicates with Elizabeth in code, revealing a dream she had in which an angel rode with Anna on horseback, indicating that she had seen William carry out part of his plan. While Elizabeth confirms that Anna is in a better place now, Sister Michael simply wants to make sure of it. A few days later, Elizabeth makes the long journey to Dublin, where William is waiting with Nan, who is already in good health. The three of them disguise themselves as a Cheshire family using fictitious documents and take a ship to Sydney, where Anna feels safe enough to finally identify herself as Nan. The movie ends with this. Please like and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.